Hello and welcome to Iron Dinos. I'm Shaun and today we're having a quick look at Donkey Kong Country. Now, Donkey Kong Country was another really big one from my childhood. I owned all three. I really hope I can find them because they should be boxed around somewhere, but they're not up on my shelf. But yeah, the Donkey Kong Country games, they're currently on the Nintendo Direct Online Pass thingy. You can play all three of them for free. Each and every one of them is an absolutely fantastic game. I was looking something to play a little bit of for this little pause button series we've got going on here, and so basically for this video I've shown off the first level, and then I played about another hour and a half of it because I was having so much fun. And yeah, I'm going to complete this and then jump straight into Donkey Kong Country 2 because, dear God, both of those are absolutely incredible. I do like three, but I feel it misses something the other two has, and I don't really know what it is. Third game syndrome, I don't know. Like, the first one, this is my favourite of the three, even though I will concede the second one's probably better. I just slightly prefer this one. As weird as it might sound, this one feels a little rougher, and I kind of like that. There's the second one distilled all the goodness from this and took away a lot of the janky edges, and gave us some of them. But it gave us much better boss fights, gave us probably better structured levels, probably a better difficulty curve, all that sort of stuff. But my heart still primarily belongs to this one, and a part of that is the fact that this one is Donkey and Diddy. It's Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong, and I'm a bit on the side of when I'm playing the second one, I have to kind of will myself not to use Dixie Kong because in the second one, Dixie has these two ponytails, and she can use them to float. So she has I think she has a slightly high jump anyway, and then she can use that to slowly descend, which makes the platforming a lot easier. And I tend to rely on that as a crutch rather than properly doing the platforming puzzles. And I've got absolutely no problem with them. Including that, it was obviously a move to make the game a bit more accessible, to take the skill level down a little bit. But for me personally, I prefer not having that kind of a crutch. But I also like the Donkey and Diddy dynamic a little more. I think it's more interesting to look at the two characters running alongside each other. Even though, unlike Tails, I don't think your friend can pick up the other controller and take control of the other monkey. But I think I prefer seeing these two running alongside each other. And also, there's the dynamic of there are certain things like their movesets are slightly different. Diddy can jump higher. And is faster, whereas Donkey can jump on certain enemies. There's certain enemies that Diddy can't damage. Only Donkey can because he's bigger and weightier. So I really like that dynamic, and I feel it was lost a little bit in the third one, just as an aesthetic and also as like gaming types. But they kind of went back to it with the third, with giving Diddy a baby companion, and I don't know. I never liked the design of that guy. It just doesn't really appeal to me. Don't really know why. There's just something about it that I just like. But all of the design work in these games is pretty top notch. I mean, everything looks. It's quite cool because obviously these graphics, when this game first came out, these graphics blew everyone away. We were like, oh my god, it's like playing a wildlife documentary. It's like, oh, graphics won't get it. It's like playing Mortal Kombat 2, you know. It's like, oh my god, graphics literally won't get better than this. And now I think you could probably argue that they don't look anywhere near as good as we thought they did back then. There's like a weird mesh of kind of these very earthy but very digitized looking colors and backgrounds against the much brighter JPEGs in the background. But unlike Mortal Kombat, whereas I think if you were to go back to Mortal Kombat or Mortal Kombat, well, I know if you go back to Mortal Kombat or Mortal Kombat 2 because I've done it, those games look shit. I don't think this does, because I think they've put enough personality and enough creativity into all of the characters and sprites to even going back to it now, it's more than just these graphics. There's more to it, and you can argue that Mortal Kombat 2 is still a fun game to play, but I never found that as fun to play as Street Fighter. Like, I was there for the blood and I was there for the graphics, and now neither of those things interest me, because the blood is ridiculous, childish and silly. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world when I was a kid. But I'd play Street Fighter, why wouldn't I? It is by far the better game. So whereas this still has absolutely incredible platforming, wonderful charm, little extra collectibles that get more so as the games go on. I'm pretty sure it's the second one, if you get all of the correct kind of collectibles, there's actually a whole final hidden world. Just on that, just on getting to the end, well, just do bosses in general. Christ, I love the bosses in these games. Second one, I think, got it pitch perfect, but yeah, you need a satisfying boss in games, and Donkey Kong, for the most part, delivers. Right down to what I was remembering there, which is you fight the final boss, King K. Rool, and like the credits start coming up, but they're all Kremlin related. The Captain K. Rool is the big crocodile bad guy, and his forces are called the Kremlins. And like the credits start rolling, and they're all Kremlin based, and then K. Rool just gets back up and starts fighting you again. It's like, what the fuck? I don't think I've ever seen that in another video game, and it's one of the greatest things ever. Always got a laugh out of me when I was a kid, and it gets a laugh out of me now. It's just a really, really cool and silly idea. I'm down with it, but it's part of that patented rare humor. It's in a lot of their games, and this is the game that made Rare a studio to follow for me. Like, this is what stamped Rare as a name to look for. But way back then, and that proceeded on to, you know, GoldenEye and Perfect Dark and stuff like that. And very annoyingly, it also followed to Perfect Dark Zero when I got my when I was really excited to get my first Xbox 360, and it's like, oh wow, there's a Rare game on it, and it's more Perfect Dark. This is gonna be awesome. Oh, that is upsetting. I don't think everything Rare did, even with Donkey Kong, was a solid hit. I think Donkey Kong 64 is nowhere near as good as either of the Banjo-Kazooies. On the other hand, Rare also made the Banjo-Kazooie, so it's fine. I do have for the Switch, is it Tropical Freeze? Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I've got that. That's not a Rare game. Funnily enough, that's made by Retro, who should be just making Metroid games, and that's what they're doing right now, and that's what we want them to be doing. So, yeah. I think I played the second one first, way back then, and then just went out and got them all, because I think one is the best, 2 is the favourite, you know, most people's favourite, and 3 is the third one. Still, none of them are remotely bad, you know. There's a hairbreadth between them, I guess. But yeah, we've gone this far without talking about the music. Oh, the soundtracks of these games. That's right, because I was going to do it in the water section. I just talked right over it. The music in that underwater section, and in the second game where you turn into the parrot and you're flying through the brambles, let's be polite and call it homage, but shamelessly ripped off in case. Can't say whatever it was I was playing. The music to certainly the first two games is absolutely fantastic. I will very often when I'm reading, I like to have a bit of music in the background, and that's, you know, the whole soundtrack is on YouTube. You can just pop it in a playlist, and just have that going in the background, because most of it is wonderfully serene. It's very very nostalgic for me, of course, because I've played these games so many times over the years. The music itself is almost like an old friend, you know. And it's, thanks Clue. Clue just jumped right in front of me. Helpful. I lost my train of thought for a second there. Yeah, so all of the music to the first two games. I don't remember the third one as well, but all the music to the first two games is absolutely fantastic, and it's all very nostalgic for me. But that's not to take away that it's just some good, solid jams. It's nice to listen to. It's all jaunty and fun, and yeah, really cool. So that's the Donkey Kong games. You know them, I know them. They're freaking incredible. You can play them right now on your Switch if you've got that live thing. If you haven't, like, it's something like 17 quid, I think, 18 quid. So, like, it's so incredibly cheap that you couldn't buy the games for that price. Unless you can buy them on their shop and it's cheaper. I don't know. But they're available is the point I'm getting to. And I would highly recommend going and playing them as soon as possible if you never have. Or if you've not played them in years, I'd highly suggest playing them as soon as possible, because they are still wonderful, wonderful games. And ones that I'm going to be going back to and running through for the rest of this month. So, till next time, bye!